So what we're going to do now is we are going to move into our observation activity. I would love everyone to observe this conversation and feel free to type in the chat or take notes. Me and Allie are not going to be looking at the chat, but that's going to be for when we get at the end. So if there's something you would have said at a certain time, you can type that into the chat. I want you to kind of imagine that you are in the role of interacting with the student, encouraging the student, mentoring the student, cheering the student on, whatever your role might be. So I love it if you can keep the chat going. Courtney will be kind of looking at that while I'm doing the session. And we used all these words: advisor, counselor, coach, mentor. I've been trained in counseling, so that's what my master's degree is in. So that's kind of the lens by which I have interactions with students. We have people in our office who are coaches, who are counselors, and I know, Brian, in your shop, are you still all called advisors? Is that your terminology?
Yeah, most of the team is advisors and lecturers, just because a lot of people also teach as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's fantastic. So type away in the chat or take notes, whatever you're comfortable with. At the end, you're going to get a chance to ask Allie some of the questions that maybe I didn't ask, if you are comfortable doing so. And we'll have a chance to really dissect this interaction. All right, so Allie, you can unmute now. Welcome to our conversation today. And thank you for scheduling your virtual appointment, and welcome back to campus. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just moved in a couple days ago and I'm getting all acclimated back into Raleigh and state.
Welcome back. Tell me about how that transition to acclimating has been and what your new life is going to be like now that you've moved.
Well, it's very fun this year. We actually live in a house, so it's a lot different than last year's apartment. We kind of got to find all of our furniture, and we're doing some like at-home DIYs. We're gonna paint a couple pieces of furniture we got, and we're kind of just moving it in and getting everything set up and things where we want it to go, kind of.
That's a lot. So your first house, so does this include like a yard and things like that?
Yes, so we actually, like you said, I just got a puppy on Saturday, and so we have a fenced-in backyard, which is awesome. So he can go run and play out there all day. And then we have he likes the front yard better now just because the backyard stairs are kind of steep and he's so little, but it's really fun.
That's going to be fun to watch him grow back there.
It's good too because it gets me outside like so much more than I was before. It like made me realize how much time like I didn't spend outside than I am now.
Oh my gosh. How are you feeling about your living situation, your roommates, getting your study area all ready?
Yeah, so it's actually awesome. It's my best friend and then one of our other good friends. There's 3 of us in the house, and it's a really good setup. We all like were really had good communication about like what we're gonna bring and like how we're gonna do everything with the house. And then study wise, I've like never found myself to be very productive when I'm at home, kind of, or I guess if I'm at home at a table, but like when I try to do things like in my bed or stuff, I always get sidetracked. So I really like to use Hill Library as one of my places to go, or Cup of Joe now that it's probably closer, but both are great spots to kind of just sit down and hone in on things.
Yeah, that's nice. I know what you mean. It's distracting when you're at home, and then you can just be focused in those spaces, and you kind of know the places to go for that.
Definitely.
So what was summer like for you? Did everything go well as we kind of transitioned from, the COVID to the new thing that's happening?
Yeah, so it was super busy. I was working a job as well as taking summer classes, as well as kind of just getting to be with my friends from home. Obviously us all coming back after freshman year was so fun to see everyone again. And I took definitely a couple trips down to Charleston and to visit family and fun stuff, but it was definitely a packed summer, but it was good. It was fun.
Busy lady. So what kind of summer school did you just finish up?
So I did the short second session. I did MIE, I don't remember. It's human resource management, but it was a really good class. It went really well. It was a short session class, so it was very like not speedy, but it went through a lot of material pretty quick. So it was a lot, but I really thoroughly enjoyed the class.
Fantastic. So remind me what year you are now and tell me a little bit about why you came in for this appointment today.
Yeah, so I am a technically, like, it's like my second year at state, but I was dual enrolled in high school, so I ended up obtaining maybe like 1 credit short of my associate's degree as I graduated from high school. So it's been kind of last year was finishing all my jet ends I have had left and figuring out, that's why I took your class, to figure out what career path I wanted to take. I think I've decided that I actually want to go the business route. So right now I'm trying to complete my credit hours at state since I was a Spring Connect student, or I started in the spring. So I just need to do that requirement of however many state hours I need. So I'm going to take a short course in the fall to try to get those hours knocked out so I can try to code as soon as possible and be able to get into some of those business classes in the spring.
Fantastic. So you have found the major. You, is it humanities that you started in for your spring?
Yes, I started in communications.
Okay, started in communications. Now you're going, have you coded into business now?
I'm not able to until I finish my hours. That I think it might be maybe I don't know, maybe like 21 or something. There is some number of NC State credit hours I needed until I could be able to do that. So I hopefully with that 8-week course, I'll get that knocked out in about like October-ish or November.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And who's your academic advisor right now? And do you feel like that person is giving you kind of setting you straight on all these academic things?
Yeah, so it's actually Cynthia Zuckerman. She's on this call, but she's definitely been such a big help because I've just had so many questions with my dual enrollment and how everything will kind of transfer, when I'll be able to transfer into the business, and kind of going back and forth with my major uncertainty. But she's been very helpful.
Yeah, fantastic. I like to ask that question because that is not really my area of expertise as much as the academic, but we love partnering and collaborating with wonderful people like Dr. Zuckerman. So you are in wonderful hands. All right, so what brought you in for this conversation today? Kind of where are you in your career crossroads and how can I help you?
So I guess now that I have the major kind of figure out, from here it's how I want to, like, if I want to do a certain concentration, or kind of how I want to get to the real world side of it, I guess, like figure out job like interests and kind of figure out how to use my business degree.
Yeah, thank you for kind of clarifying a few of the questions you have. And I think the thing that you said about where you're heading and now you have your major, I would love to hear you talk a little bit more about how you chose that major and why you chose that major. And then we can kind of branch off from that into the bigger question of what's next.
Yeah, definitely. So throughout your class, it was a trend that I noticed that a ton of the questions or the results I would get from all these different questionnaires and different activities and stuff, it would always kind of direct me towards working with people. I got my Gallup strengths were obviously like communication, positivity, woo, and I just really love, I fall under like the relationship building category, and I think it was, I forget the other one, but I just over time saw I really should be working with people, and I had a couple experiences over the summer just with like random individuals that I interacted with, and they would be like, you need to go into sales. And so just all that coming together kind of just made me realize that business, I think, would be great because it's such a degree that I could do a ton of different things with. It's not want to say safe, but it's definitely a degree that I know I'll have a lot of job possibilities in the future with.
I understand. So what you said so far is like all of the strengths, all of the things that you took as far as quizzes led you to working with people. And it sounds like the business would give you so many options and not limit you. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's think a little bit about, let's talk about something that you have done. So I want you to think a little bit about experiences that you've had. It could be outside of the classroom or inside of the classroom. Let's share a few of the things that kind of have been meaningful for you to help you learn about yourself. And then we're going to pick one of them to use for our conversation today. So what are some things that you've done? You said you had your job. What was your job this
Yeah,
summer?
so I'd been working at a restaurant for about 2 years now. I started off being a hostess, and then this summer I kind of moved up and I started serving. And that was one thing where I like just genuinely loved my interactions with people. I guess serving in a sense is a kind of a way of sales, and I enjoyed kind of going through the motions of that, helping me also kind of lean towards business.
Yeah, that's great. And is there anything else outside of the classroom other than that job that stands out for you? I know it's been hard during COVID and you were Spring
Yeah.
Connect. You've only been here one semester.
Yeah, definitely. So, growing up over the summers, I always worked as a dive. Well, I was on a dive team for a while, and then I kind of helped coach the kids, and that was something that I did every summer. It helped me build leadership skills and kind of just helping them and like directing them, and always being there was awesome. I also have been volunteering for a couple of years at this really cool place called The Relatives. It's like a youth crisis home, and we volunteer there, and we go a couple times a year and kind of help work with the kids and the staff, and then as well as like organize drop-offs and kind of, I forget the word, but we collect things and we'll bring them to the
That is so cool. So you mentioned 3 different things I heard you say. Well, really 4. You had the job as a server, you were the dive team coach, and maybe it was 3. And then you were working at Relatives, which is this crisis home. So 3. Wow, I'm so impressed. So you've done so many things. That's incredible. And wow, helping out these people that are less fortunate. That's so nice for you to have had that experience. So which of those 3 would you like to talk about today? We're going to pick one of those that's going to help us learn a little bit more about you as it might relate to making that career decision.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Relatives and the volunteering at the youth crisis home would be a pretty cool one to talk about.
Yeah, that's a great one. I like that too. I think all of them are good. I almost wanted to do the dive coach because I feel like with coaching, there's so many things you learn about being creative to come up with ways to get people engaged, and you are their role model. We can do that one next time though, because you didn't.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to go with the Relatives volunteer. So this was one of the high impact programs that you've participated in. And I know you're just at the start of your college journey. So don't let me forget at the end to introduce you to some other resources that'll help you get plugged in on campus to do some new things. But let's just have you tell me a little bit about what those volunteer experiences were like. Just describe it for me.
Yeah, so the house, it's located in Charlotte, and it like looks like just your average home, honestly. And so we would go every so often over the year, and there would be usually a new set of kids. I think they stay up to like 30 days or something, and the kids could be there from anything like they ran away from home, they got kicked out from home, there's family issues, they're awaiting some sort of not like transfer, but they're working with DES or whoever. And so those kids are there and they live at the house, they get fed, all the resources they need, they get from the house, and we'll kind of go there, we'll bring a meal, we'll bring an activity, and we'll bring like a craft. So we'll make cookies, or we'll make necklaces with the girls, we'll play basketball with the boys. We also kind of sit down with the staff and see if they are experiencing any problems that they need help with. So if that's coming up with a solution with the families to kind of resolve some of the issues, maybe the kid was acting out, and then they could just, it's a problem that could be solved easier with the help of the youth crisis home staff, and kind of planning interventions and stuff like that, as well as drop-offs and organizing just resources that they need, from toothbrushes to paper towels to just random stuff that we can donate.
How does it make you feel talking about that experience?
It's very rewarding. It's like one of my favorite things that we've done over the years. And it's so fun to just see the kids' reactions when you can get a smile on their face and kind of make them help feel at home.
I can see it even through the screen. I wish we were in person, but I see you light up, and I see when you talk about this impact you made on these children that may have been kicked out of their house by just connecting with them through a game or through an artistic activity, or maybe even just listening to them and letting them know you care.
Yeah.
Is there any one thing from that, all those experiences? I know you said you popped in and out on different breaks. Is there any one story you remember that really stands out to you about an impact you had on someone that just kind of pops into your head?
Okay, so you don't really get a ton of information about the kids, so they don't necessarily kind of talk to us about what they're going through. Like some kids may be more outgoing and choose to themselves, but we're not like allowed to get names, we're not allowed to get pictures or anything like that. So I do remember these two little twin girls, and I guess they might have been in between foster homes or something, and they had like their little stuffed animal that they brought around. There's their little like thing that they kept close to them, and I thought it was so cute. And we just made bracelets and kind of got them to smile and feel just at home and use compassion to do so.
Whoa, so you don't even know their names.
Nope, they are, they like don't tell us their names. The kids might, but I guess the home's not really allowed to release any types of information or stuff. So it's really kind of awkward sometimes to be like, hey, come here.
That's an interesting dynamic. So you do connect with them even without knowing their names. What do you think you did, Allie, to make them smile? I heard you say that that was one of the things that happened in this interaction with these twins that were clutching this stuffed animal.
Yeah, so it's honestly just like talking, like using effective communication to kind of make them feel comfortable and make them trust you, and just show them that you're there to support them. And just whether it be like playing a little like game with them or messing around with them or just getting them to laugh and kind of forget about all the hard things that they're going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, for just a moment to be there present with you and take part in what would be like an example of the craft that you would do.
So we've done so much. We've done bracelets. When we went around Christmas time, we did gingerbread houses, and that was super fun. Gosh, we've done like just little painting projects. We've done like the little butterflies, or like all different types of the wooden little stencils. I think you get a bag of a ton of different like hearts and stuff, and you can kind of design them. We've done the things that are like the little beads that you put onto the thing and you iron it into the design. Just whatever fun things we can find at Target or wherever we go before that we think will get the kids engaged.
Right. Okay, so I heard you say, let's just take an example of the gingerbread house. That sounds fun, and it smells good, and it's delicious. I don't know if you got to eat them or just make them beautiful, but let's just say we're thinking about that for a second. How did you use your communication and build trust? Like, what were some of the things you would say and do?
So kind of just showing them that like I'm very welcoming, and using like compassion to kind of just make them feel good, and just using direction to kind of show them how to do things, and like being very like, come here, like I want to play this game with you, like do you want to come play, or just kind of speaking their language in a way.
Yeah, meeting them where they are and really connecting to them. You've said compassion, and I feel like that positivity is coming in.
Yeah.
Would there be times where you would compliment them on some of the bracelet and how it looks?
Oh, definitely. Just definitely using positivity, and making sure to be like consistent with like praise towards them, and say they like do a really cool drawing or something, just like acknowledging that and be like, oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden, you know, they just brighten up and smile and they feel good about themselves because they did something that you are
Definitely.
approving of. And you're so authentic. I can just feel that too. Just like people, you're a magnet to just people coming around you and feeling that welcome spirit. It's a spirit that you exude. Let's talk a little bit about what you think you accomplished. So when you look back on this experience, what comes into your mind that you really feel good about as far as an accomplishment? And then I'm gonna ask you how you did it.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like I've accomplished a lot and kind of grown like as a person from these experiences. It definitely has taught me some skills that I like use to this day, from like teamwork skills when we work with the staff to kind of come up with plans and plan out activities, or working with families. Definitely communication skills there. Organizational skills when you have to kind of keep everything in order, plan out dates and drop offs, and figure out where to pick up and collect donations from. I would say definitely like compassion and patience I've learned with the children that might just not be happy, or it might not be their day, but try to turn that around.
Wow, that is incredible. I don't know if you just realized what you just said, but it was a lot of things that will help you move to that next level, which is, you know, if you decide it's going to be sales or whatever internship you decide to do next summer. I heard you say patience, teamwork, communication, organizational skills, compassion. And that's so much to take out of that experience. And I'm just excited to see like where that's going to build for you with the next thing that you do.
Me too.
So yeah, I know. So what are ideas that you think about? You've learned so much from this experience. What do you want to do next? I mentioned an internship next summer. Is that on your radar at all?
Yeah, so I definitely want to do an internship. I've been really looking into the Prague leadership internship. I think that would be an awesome kind of skill, since it's you get the minor. It'd be a great skill to kind of put under my belt and be able to combine with my other skills I've learned throughout my experiences. If not that, definitely some sort of internship, whether it be sales, marketing, kind of figuring out more what direction in business I want to go, and getting some real world experience.
So Prague leadership 100%. Like
Yes, I know. My
why
mom
not do
thinks
that while you're a college student? Go see the world.
Yeah.
So you know about the study abroad office and all of
Yeah.
the steps. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of the things that stood out to me during orientation. I was like, oh my gosh, I can do so much stuff.
Yeah, I know there's a group there right now. I was just talking to Julia Kaiser, and of course, with all the flights getting crazy this summer, they
Oh,
were
yes.
delayed by 3 days to get there. And it turned out they had 30 students they had to rebook, but they made it. So by next summer, hopefully all these bugs are going to be worked out when you get
Yes.
this opportunity. So do you have a little timeline for yourself as to now we're starting the fall semester? What would be a good action item and deadline for you to make your next step toward Prague leadership?
So the application is due December 15th. The financial aid scholarship opportunity is due by December 1st, but early applicants get early placement or dibs or whatever on the internships. So I'll definitely try to apply as soon as possible. I'm gonna have a lot of stuff going on starting this year off, just getting into my classes, TAing, being in the sorority. So I'm gonna kind of make that like my mid-September, October goal. I'm just trying to have that done by the end of October to kind of get the ball out in front and just have it over with, the application.
Yeah, I feel like you are very on track. I mean, you just said you're TAing, you're in your sorority, you've got this goal for December. That's a lot on your plate. How many credit hours are you taking this fall?
So I am taking, I think it might be 15 or 16.
Okay.
We're doing some shuffling, so I'm still honestly trying to figure out if I'm getting off wait list or
Yeah.
it's been a challenge with my classes this semester.
It's always challenging, yeah, to get everything finalized. It's going to come together. Trust the process. Do you feel like you need any support on that process or with your time management at this point?
Honestly, I feel pretty good. I was just looking at this. My mom got me, I love it. It's like a little my week thing. So I'm gonna be good. And that with my Google Calendar combined, I should
Yes.
be pretty organized. That's my main goal this semester, is just to stay on top of things.
Yes. And having fun too with your puppy and
Yes.
joy.
Oh my God,
We're not gonna forget that. Okay,
no.
good. So let's circle back to the question that you started off with, which was about kind of picking that concentration and that career goal. So you had completed the Focus 2, is that right?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome. Do you have it handy by any chance? And if
I
so, we could give
do.
Courtney the ability to give you screen share, which would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I can definitely screen share it.
Yeah, let's take a quick peek at that because I wanted to tie that into kind of what you learned about yourself through your volunteer at the crisis home and how that can help you. Ooh, look at you. There you are. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to have you do, and I wanted you to pull it up, even though I have it on the admin side, I kind of want to have you scroll down to the bottom and where it's a little higher, sorry, where it says go up. There you go. What I want you to do at first is explore any occupation. Let's do that one. You went over it. So would you type in the search just an occupation that you're thinking about right now? I heard you say sales. Okay, we'll do that. If you find one on there, let's just click it. And I like to start this way because I just want to kind of remind you of how helpful this tool can be, because you can get in depth on what the occupation is, what the tasks are, and then as you scroll down, you can actually save the occupations that you're interested in. And it looked like you maybe hadn't had a chance to do that yet. But with you, go ahead to that graph. That's perfect. So you got your enterprising, social, and investigative. So that makes so much sense based on everything you said about the major you picked, as well as loving to be around people. So you're going to definitely be doing something where, you know, you are combining those three. And then as we look down, it kind of dives in more to your skills. And these are the skills that you self-reported. So you self-reported helping, persuading, the ones with the check marks. This is a new feature, and speaking. Are there any other things on that skill list you want to develop, Allie? And if so, let's kind of think about a plan for that.
Yeah, so I guess decision making. I'm a little indecisive sometimes. I need to work on being more just direct with, like, whether it be my career choice or my major. That's always been a struggle area. Managing time is something that I'm working on, and just making sure to get out in front rather than trying to pick up the pieces come time. And then I guess obviously I would love to manage money better.
I know. Well, you're going to take my USC 401 class when you're a senior. Okay, that's not optional. No, just kidding. It is optional. But honestly, the fact that you're being intentional about knowing that these are areas you want to work on, I think are really great. And you might even want to go back and redo this because
I definitely could probably click another.
I feel like you could. Yeah. I feel like you might have sold yourself short on this section. And to be honest with us, we are often our own worst critics. But whenever you go back and redo it, there are some new features in there I noticed you hadn't had a chance to play with yet. So I think that'll help you a lot.
Definitely.
Go back to our house there to the beginning in the top left corner. And then, so we played around with just typing in occupations. You can put in any other ones that interest you. And let's just do that combine really quick, where we can combine assessments. It's right there with that target. So just press that little target there where it says combine assessments. And what I wanted you to do is I'm going to have you do interests. Just click on interests. We're going to skip leisure for now. Skills. And values. Let's do those 3 just to start. And you can go back and play with this filter. So we have 5 occupations up here in 3 of the assessments. Do you want to pull those up and just kind of take a look here? So I just wanted you to see this because this is kind of maybe introducing you to some things that you might not have known about yet. And it looks like a lot of them are in the business area. Hooray, things are lining up with some of the things that you talked about. If there's anything interesting in there, like just click on the occupation.
Yeah, I think it's funny that human resource management came up because I just really enjoyed the class I took on it.
Yeah, you just took that class over the summer, right?
Yes, and I did pretty well in it. It seemed like something I could be interested in just since it's a lot of people work and
I love it. So can you just click that save this occupation, Allie, with that little, just because when you come back to this, it's going to be kind of nice for you to have maybe a list, and you're going to take some new classes this semester, and that might even open you up more to like, is that the concentration you want? Because I know that's one of the things that you're debating, but you don't have to know that yet. So I just want to reassure you that give yourself a little grace. Just you've got your major now. You're going to get your new advisor when you transition over there. And I think overall, like, do you feel okay about your GPA and your kind of like being in the mix for this CODA as far as like how you did at NC State? Because I think that's what they look at to bring you into PCOM.
yeah, definitely. I feel pretty good about my GPA. I think the requirement's about a 3.0 and I'm about like at like 3.6 something. So I'm glad I'm exceeding that requirement.
Yeah.
I need to finish calculus this semester. So that's like
Yep.
my other last thing I need before I can transfer into business. So I'm a little nervous about the calculus. I'm not a good math's not my strong suit, but I'll definitely get through it and hopefully get a C minus or better. I think it is.
You've got a 3.6. Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Okay, you're a rock star and that's amazing. And I wanted to ask you that just because like if it was below what they say, we might have to be kind of looking at parallel plans. But at this point, I feel like you are really on track for that. And with your calculus, you know, what's your strategy for being able to succeed in there? What are some things you're going to try since that's something maybe that isn't coming as naturally to you with math?
Yeah, so I talked to some friends and they said pre-calc was honestly harder than calculus, and that's what I did last semester, and I didn't do too bad in it. So hopefully it will come easier. And my roommate and best friend actually is like a math genius whiz, so we're definitely gonna have some tutor sessions throughout the weeks set up, which will be really nice to have her as a helping hand.
That's great. Study
explain.
groups, 100%, and using the Success Center over in the Hill Library. I know it probably opened when you were here and it's been hard to go to places, but like they have drop-ins as well. So don't forget that that is such a good resource for you. So let's go back to that house really quick since we're winding down on our time here, and we'll be able to set up a little plan for our next appointment. Let's look down again at that middle, a little bit lower, explore possibilities. Oh, stop there. Let's do compare to. I love this one. So what I want you to do is do that search again. So maybe at the top, you can put in the human, yeah, the one we just found, and you can pick one in there that you like. There's maybe some different titles that you might be curious about. And then we're going to select that one and a second one that we can compare side by side. And the kind of cool thing about that is, oh, are you looking at like management consultant? Oh no, sales.
I was thinking that maybe, but then I realized it was pretty similar to the human resource.
Yeah, you can pick whichever one looks interesting. There's, isn't this wild? There's so much in sales. So now even this is helping you realize. Okay, and so we're going to continue here. Perfect. Now, this is cool because we've got the side by side now. So we can look at the educational requirements, and we can look a little bit more at what's involved in that role. I think you would have the educational requirements for both of these, even though this looks really science focused. And you're in the business, so some other kind of sales could be a little bit more in line with yours. And then the duties side by side. So I just wanted to remind you this, because when you go back, isn't this a pretty robust assessment?
Definitely. It gives you a lot of insight to kind of like actual like jobs, not just like a major field.
Yeah, I know. So now you can kind of know about maybe a few of these features that you might not have used in the past when you went into Focus 2. And then, so the side by side is cool. You can scroll to the bottom if you want, just to see this really quick and see the difference with the skills. But I know you might want to redo your skills. You're kind of thinking about that. And you could look at some of these, like what's important to you. Let's talk about that one as we wind down today. What is the value that you think is kind of the big one for you that I call them the deal breakers, like I have to have this in my career?
I think probably job satisfaction. I would say I want to be happy where I am, because I think that makes it so much better if you want to go do the work rather than if you feel like you have to. But yeah, I would probably say job satisfaction.
I think that's really interesting, because you that shows me that you really need to maybe do some shadowing too. And I can connect you with some people that have done some things related to what you want to do. So you could actually test the waters out and say, ooh, is that something that would be satisfying for me?
Yeah, that's something I'm super interested in doing. I'm like excited to see like the actual day-to-day responsibilities of some of these jobs.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you are familiar with Ask the Pack, which is a great resource for
Yeah, I
learning.
am.
Good, good. All right, that's great. So what we want to do now, since we're out of time today, is now you know you can go back and look at this. We've had some really great conversations about what you got out of your relatives and how that's going to help you with, the next job interview, all the great things that you said about yourself, and also to help you make this next decision. So student involvement, I think if you type in get involved at ncsu.edu, you'll be able to see the new things that you might explore, but don't spread yourself too thin, because I already think you have a lot on your plate. It's for like, the future to start looking at that. And then would it be helpful for you if we set up a follow-up appointment after you've had a chance to maybe get some advice from someone and Ask the Pack, get settled in this semester and see where you are?
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe a good time would be maybe like end of September, close to when I'm finishing up my classes and trying to work on coding. And I'm sure you would be a helping hand with that.
Yes, fantastic. All right, Ali, thank you so much, but don't leave because we're really not done.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's everybody give a reaction and a hand for Ali for being our wonderful volunteer. I'm going back to gallery view now. I know no one chatted in there because they were all just riveted by our conversation, but what we want to do now is just open up to some observations or comments about what you saw or other questions you might have for Ali, or ideas that Marcy didn't think of.
I liked the fact that you asked her a few questions about herself, her time during the summer. And I think that's a great way to ease any discomfort a student may have and to show that you genuinely care about them.
Thanks, Valerie. That was maybe the rapport piece. So it's kind of like starting off, just easing into it, not being super, all right, why are you here? And everyone has their own style with how they do that. So appreciate that feedback that you observed.
I heard a lot of paraphrasing.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other resources that they want to share with Ali that they think will help her? You got this great expert team here. You got like 16 experts that are amazing.
Hold on, you can't see me, sorry. So I see that you like being around students and younger kids. You ever thought about doing outreach with the Science House or Friday Institute that we have on campus?
Oh, you're on mute, Ali. You're good.
Oops. I said I'm actually unfamiliar with it.
Okay, so if you go out to the NC State Science House, it's actually on Centennial campus. They do different types of outreach with middle school to high school students. They also have the Catalyst, which is kind of like special needs students. They have outreach for them, and we also have North Carolina Science Olympiad, which basically does a lot more than just science. There's some places, and then there's also Friday Institute as well that do activities. So if you're really into still connecting and outreaching with the youth, those are some great places that always are looking for volunteers or student paid opportunities.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
campus.
I need to find a good volunteering opportunity in Raleigh. I get hours for my sorority, and I think maybe choosing to do it at one of those would be awesome.
If you, I will email your advisor.
pretend money that you'll get to spend here. All right, so you can't do anything until I say go. So it's really important to listen to these instructions because we're doing it virtually. So the values auction is every one of you has $300 to spend. All right, so write that number down. You cannot go over. The person with the highest bid wins that value for their lives. All right, you're going to see the values here in a moment when I scroll down. So you have to decide pretty quickly, because there's 15 other people bidding against you, how you want to spend your $300. If there's only one that you want and you want to put all $300 in one box, you will win it if you're the first person. But we can only purchase a value one time. All right, each value can only be purchased once, so only one person gets learning. So there's a lot of learners out there. So if someone bids $50, $60, $100, $200, that is sold to the highest person. So if you put in 50, then that 50 is gone, and you don't get to use that. I guess you could use it on another one if you wanted to, but only one person gets that value, and it's going to be a time limited activity, like I said. This is how you bid, is you type your initials, so just your first and last. So Chris would put in CA 100. You type in your initials and the number. You don't have to put the dollar sign. You're trying to go really fast. So your initials and the number. And you're going to put that in the box under the value. So you're all going to get edit rights to this document. And when I say go, it's going to be a madhouse, because we all want to get what we want in our lives. And once you type your initials and amount in the box under the value, or you can outbid someone else. Again, you can't go over 300. So if someone else bid 100 for learning and you want to bid 101, feel free to do that, because that means you are now the highest bidder. But you can't type over someone else's initials or erase. That's not allowed. You can only type underneath. If someone begins typing, you have to wait until their amount is viewable, because you kind of see they're hovering there. And then you can decide to outbid. You can erase your own initial dollar amount and relocate resources as needed based on if someone outbids you. So if I got outbid, I can erase my 100 and put it in a new spot. So you get to spend all 300. If someone outbids you, then that doesn't count for you spending it. You cannot bid until I count down and say we begin. So I'm going to ask you to plan now for how you will use your 300 before I share this magic Google link that everyone will go to. So let's take a quick look at it. And we're just looking at what's in this document right now. So you can look at this quickly. I'm not going to read these out loud, and just kind of notice maybe what is going to stand out for you and how you might want to spend your money. Can I get, I can get them all in one place. Okay. I don't have every value in the rainbow on here. So some of you are going to have maybe 3 or 4 at the end, and some of you are going to have nothing at the end, depending on your strategy. Next, I would like to say, are there any questions? Everyone feels like they understand? All right, I am going to copy this link, which is shareable to everyone, and I am going to count down. And when I say go, you will begin the values auction by typing in your initials and your amount. The link is coming. Be thinking about how you want to spend your money. The link is here. I should be seeing everyone pop onto this link. There they go. They are getting their fingers on the spot that they want. And I'm now going to count down to when you can type. Some of you already typed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, we are now in our values auction. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got 300 for learning by Donna, sold to Donna Burton for 300. Ooh, creativity, that is getting taken there so far. We've got curiosity. Curiosity is going, but there's still a little room for somebody else. Ah, joy. Joy is taken. Nobody else gets it. We've got love taken. Love is gone off the board. Now, some of you are spending money in various places. So far, positivity is still up for grabs. So far, we've got legacy. Folks, what do you want to be known for in your life? How important is that power? Oh my goodness, you are in charge. Everyone's looking up to you. Intelligence. We got all these smart, scholarly people. Nobody wants intelligence. We've got challenge. Ooh, challenge is taken so far. That is a very good one. It's nice to be challenged at work. Discipline. Angela is popping in on discipline. I love it. We've got a lot of opportunities here for you to spend your money. We are going to, Brian is going in on achievement, it looks like. No, he's changed his mind. Angela is going in here. Pam and Angela on justice. Oh my goodness, who's going to get it? I see Pam and Angela. They're going back and forth. We are going to finish our auction. Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, friends, look at the board and see what you got. See what you got. And I am going to unmute everybody, or you get to unmute yourself and tell us what you got. What did you get? What did you get, Angela? Go ahead and unmute. What'd you get?
Let's see, hold on, let me go back. That was justice. Where am I? Discipline. That's
Ooh, you got more than
200.
one. That's good.
Teamwork.
Yay. Look at you, Angela.
I went over. Sorry, I went over. I lost.
Okay, she's got to take one off. It's all on the honor system.
Here we
Jennifer,
go.
say one that you got, not all of
Oh,
them.
here we go.
Jennifer, which one did you get?
50-50, because nobody did courage. So that's 300.
Okay, good, good, good. I'm not a math major. Jennifer, what'd you get? Your top one.
Compassion.
Chris, what was your top one you got? You're on mute.
Leadership and mastery, kind of tie.
Donna, what'd you get?
I got learning.
Oh, that I knew you were going to get that. Linnell.
Tie between curiosity and positivity.
Oh, you got two. Way to budget your money, Linnell. Good job. Brian, did you get anything?
I got transformation and intelligence, but if it had been an option, I would have put all my money on empowerment.
Sarah, what'd you get?
I actually ended up getting quite a few. So
Pick your top
fitness
one.
was my first one, balance was my second, achievement third, and then wealth, prestige, and power were available, so I took them.
Hey, this is a person who just said, I'm not just going to put everything in one box. I'm going for it all. That is very strategic, Sarah. I am impressed. I would have outbid you on fitness, but you got it. Taylor, what'd you get?
I went all in on love.
Oh, yes. All you need is love. Okay, we said singing is good for us. Aaron.
Creativity and contribution.
Ooh, that's a good one. I love that. Cynthia.
Relationships.
Yeah. I mean, you can count that for love, can't you? Because if you got relationships, they probably love you. Kristen.
Harmony, but there's an asterisk there. It's not the one I wanted, but I did it on purpose.
Tell us what do you mean by that?
I did a similar activity to this when I was an undergrad, and no one bid on anything because again, I went to a Quaker school. The idea of bidding and trying to fight over traits like this is very counter to Quaker principles.
Oh,
And
God.
so to be honest, I don't like activities like this.
Yeah,
And hence why I
understand.
put everything under harmony.
I gotcha. You're just trying to smooth the waters out. You're not going to steal anything from anyone. You're probably no fun to play board games with because you don't want to, like, take away-
I am not a competitive person like at all. So
I love it. I love it. All right, all in fun. Pam, what'd you get?
Accountability.
Okay. Okay. Jayla, did you get something?
I got inspiration. I put all my money in inspiration.
Yeah. And Jean?
I got adventure.
Okay. Adventure. That's good. I think it's kind of interesting just to do this for 5 minutes. I totally get what you mean about fighting for something against other people, but let's just assume that we all can get everything now. Everyone's a winner. But it does kind of help us think about how we prioritize, and going back to that whole house analogy that we started with in the morning, what would we put at our foundation? We know that love is super important for the person that got that. And the core all the way through the minor values of the furniture. So I always love to kind of wrap things up with that. So thank you for playing the game. All right, Courtney, we're wrapping up this.
So let me get the screen share back up to wrap us out and send us home, basically.